Okay, Josh, the floor is yours.
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. I see some familiar faces, and I see some new faces. Welcome to you all. This is a great opportunity again to connect or reconnect to some of us. I'm Josh Yeris, partner in Ascola. I'm located in Israel. Paolo is my partner in Milan with Anna. And let's go right into it. So we would like to just present and share with you this interesting opportunity for collaboration between Israeli and Italian entities, companies, and research entities. This is after we collected the information, including participating in a webinar that the funding organizations, entities had yesterday. So who am I? So as I mentioned, I'm a partner in an Israeli financial consulting firm called Ascola. We are in the Tel Aviv area in Ramat HaChayal, and we provide a full spectrum of financial and economic consulting services.
Yeah, from my side, my name is Paolo Franceschini. I'm the owner of Ideale. Ideale is a boutique consulting firm based in Milan, and we provide services to boost the growth of the company. So we provide consulting for grant management and for business innovation.
Here we are again. Got a picture of me in a little better dressed than I am today. I'm sorry. And as I mentioned here, I have quite a lot of experience in the whole wild spectrum of financial and economic consulting, operational consulting, innovation consulting, including and also supporting innovation grant opportunities for several years already.
Okay, just a few words about myself. So I almost over 20 years experience in managing European projects. So I'm also consultant for several public and national body, from craftsmen association up to local government bodies such as Lombardy region. And we've been running with Josh with this activity since let's say it's 4 years almost, Josh. And we provide support also in building European consortia and in creating link between Italy and also Israel.
So just some of our success stories. As a matter of fact, I'm happy to see Itzik here from the upper right-hand corner. One of our very proud success stories. Itzik is an entrepreneur with a fascinating concept in the area of food supply chain. And several years ago, he was interested in taking his company further, developing his technology. Paolo and I were very proud to assist identify for Itzik several leading partners in Europe for an ERANET call, Fraunhofer, University of Roma Sapienza, and other partners in order to put together a consortium and move together and develop fascinating cutting-edge technology, computer vision, and AI. So these are some of the concepts that we've had and some of the many success stories that we've assisted in helping companies access consulting and accessing innovative funding grants. We'll be happy to tell more if and provide references. Okay, and as based upon that, again, we're tooting our own horn. We won't go into that, but we are very proud of our success in a wide variety of funding frameworks, from national frameworks, and Paolo in Italy, me with the Israeli Innovation Authority, bilateral calls, multilateral calls, including Horizon Europe, and also Cascade calls. Our area of activity covers at least 3 continents. We have to maybe add a 4th already, and many happy and funded clients from SMEs and also large entities in several areas. So just to quickly dive into here, what I call the ocean of opportunities, as we are both situated in different countries, We are very proud of the ability to provide our clients with really across the board funding opportunities, maximizing our locations and also our access to the various ecosystems. We see ourselves as analyzing the opportunities based upon your geographic area on one vector, and the other vector is based upon where you are in your technology, developing your TRL, and for those people who are familiar with that, technology going from TRL 1 through TRL 9 full commercialization. Without familiarity of the various frameworks that cover those various segments and those areas, so from Eureka, Eurostars, and other national or funded calls, for example, this bilateral call that we're talking about, and also multilateral European calls from the EIC's programs, Horizon Europe's, RIA, IA, and also a lot of success in the Cascade funding, which we strongly recommend, where this is a relatively easy, high success rate funding of 50, 60, 70, 100,000 euro in relatively limited time projects.
So you may know that this bilateral call is covering two main issues. The first one is about the research grant, and the deadline has already expired. And sorry, can you close the microphone, because we. Sorry, Alberto. Okay, Josh, next one, please.
Excuse me?
Yeah, no, it's not you as the, so I'm going to close the microphone anyway.
Yeah, you moved him.
Okay, so Josh, please, the next one, because we are running
right
in the command. Okay, so the webinar today will be about the industry grant. Okay, next one, Josh.
Oh, what happened here?
Okay.
Right. Yes.
Okay, so for what concern Italy, the purpose of this call is to the purpose of the call is to enable collaboration between Italian and Israeli partners. From the Italy side, it is pretty important to have an industrial entity. In the case that the industrial entity can run R&D activities, can participate independently. Otherwise, if it's not able to run R&D activity, it must be associated with a university or an R&D center. In the case that an R&D entity would like to participate as a main contractor, then it needs to be associated with an industrial entity. The deadline is pretty similar for both countries, so we need to provide supply, and afterwards we are going also to show you which kind of documents you need to submit. But the call is running parallel, so the Italian partner will need to submit an application to Italian ministry, while the same is going to happen in Israel. The deadline is the same, but pay attention to the time, because in Italy the deadline is at 5 p.m., while in Israel is at noon. And in Italy the funding rate is 50%, and we are going to consider a maximum of 200,000 euro of funding for the total project cost. This is a pretty important information, because this is, let's say, is defining the overall funding and the overall budget for the action. Okay, Josh, I'm leaving the
right.
floor.
This is the most important slide, and I think this is why you guys, everyone here has come to this place. The target and the purpose of this call is to facilitate collaboration, R&D collaboration between two entities in the two countries. So therefore, if you have a partner, that is good, or we quickly will have to assist you if you want to find a partner. But this is a project, an R&D project that is for up to 24 months. They mentioned possibly up to 36 months, but everyone agrees that it's for 24 months. up to a 2-year project between at least the two entities in the various countries. And what is very important, as I have there in the lower rubric, that it has to be a substantial collaboration in R&D. That means 1 + 1 is equal to 3. It's not just an Israeli company coming with technology to Italy to do a presentation, to do a demonstration, to do a pilot. They are looking for a substantial joint development of IP, and that there should be IP developed within this project. And therefore, and I'll repeat that again, that 1 + 1 is equal to 3. That is the thought. Together, the two partners have to create and structure an R&D project over the up to 24 months that you want to do. Each company has its own budget. And while there is a joint project and there is one joint form that is submitted, the Israeli companies at least will also have to submit additional forms. Israeli companies who've already submitted to the Israeli Innovation Authority are familiar, other IIA forms for that. Funding for each company comes from its own country, and they are looking for a 50% cut in the cost. It is not will not work where one company takes upon itself 75% of the funding of the project and the other one takes upon itself 25%. They are looking for a really joint collaboration also on the budget. And because of that, while Israel also provides 50% funding, again, people who are familiar with the IIA funding is not a complete grant. It is a conditional grant. And if there is success in the R&D and there are sales, then companies are expected to pay back the funding through royalties from the revenue over the years. But at the end of the day, there is a 50% participation of the IIA in the budget. And as Paolo said, and as I said also, that we're talking about a collaboration and 50%, 50% for each company to do a project. So what really is setting the amount of funding that we have to target is based upon the lower Italian limit. So if we can do some arithmetic and therefore say that the Italian project of 200,000 euro of 50% funding, that means the project for the Italian side will be 400,000 euro. Similarly, the Israeli entity should prepare a similar 450,000 euro budget for the length of the project for the up to 24 months. So this is very important. Budget balance and MOU collaboration must be submitted also, so that at the end they also want to have a piece of paper, a very simple MOU, a sentence or two, that the two entities agree to collaborate in a project based upon the project being accepted, and then afterwards it'll be accepted. There'll be a detailed grant agreement and a detailed collaboration agreement. And one last line, and as Paolo said, in Israel, the submission deadline is always 12 o'clock. And therefore, we'd have to keep that in mind of the 21st of June. Okay, I'm going to...
From the Italian side, there is no platform, but you simply need to send out an email. It's better with a PEC, the Italian certified email, to a specific email address. So you know that you will need to comply with all the Italian requirements for, let's say, for the certification of the digital signature and of the shipping of the documents.
So I cannot stress enough, as the deadlines are 21st of June, so that's like in 5.5, 6 weeks. That is not a lot of time. And therefore, what is first and foremost for everyone who is planning this, if you do not have a partner, you have to find a partner very quickly and structure what you are planning to do together over 24 months. After that, the writing of the market analysis or whatever it is falls in place. But from my experience, this is the most challenging part, to have a partner and decide exactly what you are doing that is really important and innovative and disruptive.
In the case you already have an idea and you are looking for a partner, being you from Italy or Israel, we are going to share at the end of the webinar a form, and you can fill in the form and stating which kind of skills or companies or industry you would like to find to complete your small consortium to submit the proposal. And then we will create the match, and we will support you in fine-tuning this kind of collaboration.
Okay, I think we'll move on.
Yeah.
Okay, the project areas.
Yeah, the project areas are pretty wide. Okay, there is this kind of list. So you will see that these are pretty similar to the list of topics that are in the main European framework program for research. So you have medicine, health, agriculture, information technology, environment, water, energy, and at the end you will see at the bottom any other area of mutual interest. So let's say the topics are pretty open, and we suppose that you will find a way to identify the right topic for your own project. So
I just want to stress that, and I heard that again fresh off the tree yesterday, or the oven, in the official briefing provided by the Italian Ministry and the Israeli Innovation Authority. It was said several times, all topics are covered. This is a call, even though they have this list of the specific targets, the last line is the most important, all areas of mutual interest. But as long there is a collaboration of developing new IP, of developing innovative technology, that is the most a factor in this competitive framework.
okay, so this is the documents that we need to provide. So for what concerns the Italian part, the Italian ministry decided to, let's say, merge all this kind of information that are also asked for the Israeli companies or partners in just one single form. And we will see the structure of the form afterwards. And the form is enclosing all the information. So the description of the partner, the description of the project, and also the budget. Okay, and for sure it needs to be filling in agreement, in total agreement with the Israeli partner, in a way that you can submit a proposal that is quite consistent between the two parts. It is really, really important also that you define a work plan in which it is clear that you're going to collaborate. So they are not looking for two projects running in parallel, but you should demonstrate that you are going to carry out an activity, an R&D activity that is pretty integrated. Okay, so for example, if we are speaking about a research work package, then you will need to demonstrate that you're going to collaborate with some integrated tasks also in this kind of activity. So it is really important that you give and you clearly demonstrate that you're going to run a single project that is carried out by two different partners.
So unlike these Italian entities that have it pretty easy, the Israeli companies, in addition to submitting the joint application that you will fill together with your Italian partner, as Paolo mentioned, and we're going to go into detail soon, Israeli entities will have to submit, in addition, the IIA R&D form application for this. Again, that here could be written in English, except for the executive summary in the beginning, which is has to be written in Hebrew, 25 pages. The usual IIA project budget Excel. If you are already running in parallel other projects under the Israeli Innovation Authority, so you have another Excel regarding the ongoing supported projects in order for you to list, to make sure that you're able to keep within the framework of what the amount of funding you are as a company allowed to receive a year, and make sure that you have enough assets to support several projects at the same time. Obviously, a company registration certificate, and as I mentioned before, which is probably also in the short application, but you need a letter of intent, an MOU, that with your partners that you plan together to do this project.
Okay, this is the general structure of the proposal. So from what concerns the Italian side, you will need to provide some general information about the project, and also provide a description of the Italian participant. And then you will need to provide a project outline. So the description, the technology development around 1 page, and the market application and exploitation. As you know, for all R&D projects, you need to demonstrate that you're going to create or to address a specific market sector. So this is really, really important that you demonstrate that there is a market, and there is a problem that you're going to solve, and that you already done your homework in assessing the market.
So I just want to add on that. We always say when we discuss with our clients, the funding, innovation funding, stands on 2 legs: disruptive innovation, technological innovation, and the second one is the commercialization potential. You have to show that there is a very large potential commercial market for this, and it's not just going to your fascinating disruptive technological innovation will not just serve 3.5 people in the world. So that's always something that's true for all these frameworks. Okay.
As a cost category, these are quite classical. So personal equipment, subcontractors, travels, and for overheads. So from the Italian side, there is a calculation that is maximum 3% of the personnel, or 8% of the actual total budget. It's pretty different from for Israel, that is 25%.
Right, Israel, we have a typo here. It's 20%, not 25%, as it's automatically inside the IAA budget Excel. And there are also the various laws and regulations about which expenses, which subcontractors, what is included in for marketing, but that will also something to be explained as we move along.
Okay, and then the evaluation criteria. This is a competitive call. It's not a click day. So in Italy, we are pretty used to see this kind of strange system where is a kind of race. Okay, in this case, your proposal will be evaluated against some criteria. So first of all, the novelty. So the impact on industrial activities in terms of technological innovation, the qualification of the applicants. So you must demonstrate that you're able to carry out what is in the work plan. Relevance of the common activities, so run together. So as we told you, you need to demonstrate that you're going to create a really collaborative project. The expected economic results. Okay, so you need to demonstrate that there is a market, but also that there is a viable business model. So you are able to do some profit and loss forecast for the project revenues. And for sure, also the relevance of the project for the main strategic objectives in industrial R&D. So for both Italian and Israeli government. So you need to be aware of the policies that you are contributing to implement by carrying out this kind of a project. And then for sure also adequacy of the cost estimate. So you should provide the right cost. This doesn't mean to ask less or to ask more, but to ask the right cost, and then to have the right budget for the project. And for sure also the capabilities. So you should demonstrate that you're able to carry out the activities that you describe in the work plan. So you should demonstrate to have the resource. I mean, the people, the structure, the equipment, and the know-how.
I just want to add here is that part of our experience, and true, many companies can apply and succeed on their own, But part of the experience that we provide for our clients when we support a submission is our familiarity, with the type of wording and writing regarding the structure of the application. What are they looking to see? What are the special keywords to be used? What are the stresses? And also when it comes to building the budget, then it's the familiarity with the regulations involved. Where can we add more money to your budget in order to achieve you a larger grant? Make it more robust, include additional costs, filing of patents, doing market validation activities, et cetera, which only people who are familiar with this, as we do this all the time, are much more familiar with.
Okay, now is your turn. So I'm going to share with you in the chat a link in the case that you would like to submit a project idea. And we can also open the floor for some question that you may have. So as a promise, we tried to be pretty effective. So we avoided all the institutional greetings and presentations. So as Josh, as I learned from Josh, so I learned to be pretty straight to the point. This is the true Italian, Israeli added value that I learned by working with Josh. So we see that there is a question by David. So David, Josh, you may stop the sharing, so we may leave the floor to people for some question. In the meanwhile, I'm going to share with you the link for the questionnaire.
David, you're muted. You have to unmute yourself.
Hey everybody, my name is David Suter. I'm from FastSense over here in Israel. I have two questions mainly. One is more of a clarity question, just to understand the budgets and how it's divided. If you don't mind just explaining it again in like 1 minute, just how is the 50% either side, how is it calculated again?
Okay, very simple. First of all, each company, this is, you're going together, but you're also going separate. Okay, so therefore you have to make together a joint project. You're leading task 1, the Italian company is leading task 2, you're leading task 3, and they're leading task 4. Okay, so I understand, remember, you were in the area of hydrogen sensing. So therefore, if you are able to find a company that's able to add on some segment to your technology and to make your sensor even better, if I remember correctly, or forgive me if I make a mistake. So then each one is doing something, and then in task 5, you come together and do some integration. Now, each of you are developing your own activities, and therefore you're making your own budget. Therefore, you have a budget of 400,000 euro over the course of 2 years. The Italian company has a budget of 390,000 euro over those 2 years. Okay, that is the total budget of the joint project will be 790,000 euro. But each of you are going to submit your own budget to your own country. Israel will support your segment, your 400,000, and the Italian government will provide the funding to the Italian company for their 50% of their 390,000. You will get 50%, up to 50% of the 400,000 budget that you support. So that's how it works. There's 50%. I used the word 50% twice. I know it might have confused you, but you have a joint budget. Each one is doing about half of it. They don't want, as I said, they don't want one company doing 80% and they want 20%. They want 49, 51, 48, 52, whatever, to show that both companies are carrying the same weight. And then in the budget that you support to the Israeli Innovation Authority, 400,000 euro total budget for 24 years, you will be hoping to get 50% in the conditional grant in the support from the IIA. That's how it works.
So in other words, the IIA, if the overall budget was 400,000, they would provide 200,000.
That is right. They look at you for your own grant. You look at the total budget that you will support, that you will provide and submit, and they will say, okay, we agree or they will say take off 50,000 or whatever, and what it will be the total budget for your company that they agree to allow. Then they will say we give you funding. It sometimes in Israel they say up to 50%. It could be sometimes lower. It could be 40%. So we can talk about the Israeli companies. There is a little more of a flexibility, and the Israeli Innovation Authority will never promise that they will provide 50%, but that is the usual number, especially for first-time submissions.
Perfect. And just a second question very quickly, is the success rate between Italy and Israel doing these kind of joint bilateral agreements? How has it been last year and the previous year before that?
Well, the true answer is that no one can tell you what, because it always depends upon how many submissions there are. And I can only assume, if you call up the Israeli Innovation Authority, by the way, they will tell you there is no limitation on the budget that you can submit. But as we explained to you also, there are limitations. On the other hand, they probably have a certain set budget set aside for this program. So I don't know if it's 30 million or 40 million or 20 million. So once they finish that, they finish that. So, but there is importance here. One thing I would like to say is that our experience with the bilateral calls is that especially Israeli companies that have been burned in the past by the Israeli Innovation Authority in the main independent standalone calls, there is more flexibility by the Israeli Innovation Authority regarding bilateral calls, because they want very much to support the collaboration between the countries. So therefore, this is something that really helps things work out. And we've had a lot of success in this, again, but no one can promise 100%. It's a competitive thing. And if you happen to be someone who is submitting a cure for cancer, then you know that's what it is.
Yeah.
Any more questions?
Thank you.
Yes, I have Cesare Galli from Italy. When you mentioned about the application, it's 5 to 10 pages you mentioned. I don't understand, is that the same application that is sent to Israeli and Italian authority, or each one side writes his own?
There is one form. There is one joint form for both sides that is provided by the Italian and the Israeli countries, entities, and that's therefore you and your partner fill out the form together.
Okay, so it's one application sent to places.
Exactly.
And the other thing, with this, but you already addressed this past experience a few years ago. Then one side would fund it, the other side wouldn't fund it, the project. So you do maybe a lot of work and then you end up in nothing.
No, you might be referring to ERANET. So there are frameworks, for example, ERANET, which is under Eureka, which will be also we can talk about.
It was in Eureka, yes.
Right, and therefore there is a matter of where you have 4 or 5 countries involved. So each country has a different budget, which they're supporting their companies, and you can be in a bad luck situation where you're an Italian company and you've submitted with a German company and a French company and a Romanian company, and the German company will say, oh, Germany finished the budget, and therefore the whole consortium is canceled. That is part of the risk that is involved.
No, it was not. It was, I don't remember exactly, but it was just us and an Israeli partner.
In this framework, I'm with this for several years. If there is a joint review, and the Israeli funding entity gets together with the Italian funding entity, and they decide together, and that is based upon the budget they have. So I've never heard where the Israeli side said, well, we wanted to fund you, and the Italian didn't have the budget. I mean, at the end, it's a joint process here.
Okay, and the last question, from the Israeli side, you necessarily need an industrial partner. You cannot partner with a R&D, with a university partner.
Correct. A university in Israel can come in as a subcontractor, but the Israeli Innovation Authority funds development of commercial innovation.
Would a startup, one guy company just set up be eligible?
Yes,
So if there is no previous balance sheet approved or
that's
so.
not, it's that there's, as long as they show and that they have to show that they were able to do the project. I mean, part of the review and of the submission will be the capability of the company to do it again. So you show you have the people, what can you do? How can you make sure that if you get the funding or the Israeli company of one person, how do they give comfort to the Israeli Innovation Authority that they're giving money to a project that will be fulfilled? But again, we've worked all the time with companies for that we're just one person, two people. But that's, again, if you have to show that you're able to do it, how you're able to do it.
Yeah, for let's say one-man band company is not the right tool. This one, because you will need to demonstrate that you have the capabilities to carry out the activity, and then there could be also a problem for the cost statement, because personnel is where the main cost will be allocated. Maybe we will not allow to let's say define a pretty viable budget. And also, as I told Josh really reminded, there is also an assessment about the capability. So this could be an issue. There are other kind of funding opportunity that you may apply. For example, Cascade, where they are more focusing on content. So in this case, there is some assessment about the team. But European project is a general concept, are not for early stage startup. So you may find the right funding tools with a local funding. For example, you are from Lazio region, Cesare?
Lombardia.
Lombardia. In Lombardy, there are some, for example, some funding opportunities from Chamber of Commerce, or some, let's say, funding opportunities for some specific area, for example, the digitalization, internationalization. Okay, because let's say the ratio of European fundings to support the scale up, the growth, the further development, the scale up, the startup of companies is an area where regional government are playing.
Okay.
This is distinction between different competence area between local government and European Commission.
In Israel, there is no need to show fiduciary or financial capability, but again, the submission will be when you show that you're able to do it, and you have to convince the reviewers. Just to show you, regarding to your first question, I put on the screen now. Can you give me the screen, Paolo?
Yeah, I think that you already have it.
No, but for some reason I'm white.
Mm-hmm.
No? Something's wrong here. Okay, anyway, I can fix it. The form, as I said before, is a joint form. That's no, okay.
Yes.
Any other questions?
The amount of subcontracting, because both from the Italian side and the Israeli, there is a possibility of having a R&D subcontractor. So is that limited on the budget? Or is
In the
in
call,
Israeli?
from the Italian side, the text of the call is pretty simple, so it's not so complex. Anyway, the main criteria that you should follow when you are considering a subcontractor is that the subcontract activity must not be higher than the internal activity from the company. So subcontracting is simply a task that you cannot carry out by your own, and it should not be the main task. Okay, in the case you need an R&D collaboration with a university, this should be a partner of the project. So it should be an additional partner on the Italian side.
And those partners are eligible for IP as well, or is it just subcontractor?
Paolo was talking about Italian companies. For you, David, if you want to bring in an Israeli university, then your Israeli university will be on your budget and will be a subcontractor. Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay, so that there again, we have to get the devil's in the details. There are some details, and we're able to figure it out. But the way the structure is in Israel is that the university you bring in will be in your budget as a subcontractor. In Italy, there will be 2 Italian partners. There will be a lead partner and a secondary partner. Okay.
Or in the case there is a company that is able to carry out R&D activities, and they need to subcontract, for example, some task. I mean, laboratory activity. This is allowed, but you cannot subcontract, let's say, 200,000 euro of activity, because this will become a partner of the project. And
just to add, also in the Israeli submissions, if you ever filled out the Israeli Innovation Authority budget Excel, then they have built in that if you are putting more than 15% of the budget into subcontracting, there is a red flag that goes up, and you really have to explain very, very well why you're giving so much money to a subcontractor. It's not that it's a wall and that it's impossible, but these are things that you really have to, these are red flags. So it's better always to get your money vis-a-vis the PMs, the project ones, the workforce you have. Those are the easy expenses that can be easily explained and used. Money at the end of the day, money is money and it's fungible. So it doesn't make a difference if it comes in the right pocket or the left pocket.
And intellectual property will not belong to subcontractor.
So that, again, you have to make sure with the project that you're doing, and the IP also will be include, if you're doing a joint project, you have to work out some understanding if there is joint IP being developed, what is the use of it? Again, I don't see him here, but Itzik before was online, and he did a very, very fascinating project with various leading universities, and was able to work out, these are things that happen all the time. So again, that's something that has to be taken care of and has to be presented in the submission, because they want to make sure that there will be a exploitation of the results of the project, and it's not just the project itself. So that's why I go back to what I said before. As soon as possible, either hopefully with us, but you could do it by yourself. Find a partner and work out what you are planning to do for the 2 years that is real and substantial, and then you have to also talk about who owns what, as you do, as companies do all the time if you're doing collaboration.
Is there any other question? Did you find the link for the questionnaire online in the case that you need some support for matchmaking?
Paolo and I have a very expansive network. We've had a lot of success in putting together partners as part of our added value, being on both sides of the Mediterranean Ocean. He's able to call up and speak to people in Italian, and I'm able to call up and speak to people in Hebrew. And therefore, that usually helps things happen very quickly. So,
in any case, tomorrow we are going to send out an email with a link to the recording of the session, and also the link to the matchmaking form, in the case that you missed, or maybe something's coming up in your mind to start some collaboration agreement. And in any case, maybe Josh, you can show the last part of the presentation with all the contact details.
Yeah, I'm trying it. Let's see what happened. Let's see if you allow me now, because before it was all white.
And for the Italian partners,
I see what happened.
Yes, the last one. And for the Italian partners, we are also going to share the page on the other website with a description, with a short description of the call. Okay.
So
is the last one. In the last one, there are the contact details.
So here you have the last one. No.
No, it's not the last. Maybe you should stop. Okay, this one.
Okay, right. Feel free to call me on my phone for everyone that's any interest. And we're looking forward to assisting you in this call. There's also other opportunities. There's Eureka calls being open now, Eureka clusters that are for September. Again, the deadline for this call is a little tight, but it can be done. We've done it in shorter. But we have to start running soon, very soon, in order to make sure have the basic modules of the project and the partners and the project.
Can I ask what are the charging system for your service?
We will talk to us offline and we'll talk business. I think that's a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very, very much.
That's great. Thank you very much.
Thank you too.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
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 Cheers. Thanks, Josh.
Thank you. Good to
Good
see
job.
you again.
Yeah, good job. I'm thinking maybe to take a call whenever you've got a moment. I've got something that I want to discuss with you anyway. Okay.
Okay. We'll set it up. Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you,
Thank you.
everyone. Bye.